Okay, Justin, let's assume that now that you've been elected.
It's very kind of you, thank you.
The kind of guy I am.
Makes the next 3 weeks quite easy.
It's the kind of guy I'm so generous. So, Justin, what's the first task? What's the first thing you're going to do for Swindon?
Well, I mean, if I am fortunate enough to be elected, I'm going to be a real champion for Swindon because I'm a local resident myself. I've shown in the 10 years that I've been a councillor that I've got a 100% attendance record, never claimed a penny in expenses, which is extremely rare for a politician these days to say that. And I actually want to make a tangible difference because I've shown as a councillor that if you lead from the front, it's not just about having an efficient office where you write good letters and sort of acknowledge people's problems. You've got to roll your sleeves up, you've got to work hard, and you've got to lead by example. A good one would be where we had the threat of the Speedway closure. Whilst politicians raced to write letters in support, I stood shoulder to shoulder with the Speedway supporters. I organised the protests, organised the media campaigns, made sure that every last ounce of pressure was applied until eventually we secured the future of the Swindon Speedway. And I've done this right across other campaigns. I am going to be a real champion for this town. Nobody will have more energy and enthusiasm than me to do what is right for myself and fellow local residents.
And what about employment?
Employment is crucial. So many of my friends, they have that great uncertainty or have been unfortunate enough to already lose jobs. And it's something for people of my age, it's a new experience. And like we talked about with the national insurance things, I will oppose Labour's tax on employment. I will do all I can to support local businesses. As a councillor, I think it's right that we should support Swindon Council in being an advocate of trying new things, to put Swindon on the map, to drive through. And actually, as all parties look to make savings across the public sector, there is an opportunity for jobs to move from places like London with high costs to other areas like Swindon. And Swindon Borough Council has been fantastic at getting people like the National Trust and other organisations to park their head offices here. And I would support that and be a strong advocate, whether it was the Labour, the Liberals or the Conservatives running the council. I will work with whoever it is to champion Swindon.
It's an awful lot of jobs you've got to find. I mean, there are 30,000 new homes programmed to come into Swindon, aren't there?
Well, we're opposed to the 30,000 new homes that Labour wish to force onto Swindon. We would change the rules that would allow local councils to make a decision on what is good. Sometimes development is good, sometimes development is bad. Clearly 30,000 is totally and utterly unacceptable because it will put unnecessary burdens on our struggling economy, on our local infrastructure such as roads and facilities and schools, and also it should be for local residents to have the final say, not some far away, far-flung Labour bureaucrat who couldn't give a damn about our countryside. And I tell you, as a local resident, I'll be leading those campaigns against that.
Justin, very, very briefly, looking at the figures that are coming through on the polls at the moment, how would it sit with you for a hung parliament?
Well, I will be doing everything the only thing in my control is to make sure that I help deliver North Swindon as a Conservative gain, which makes it one seat closer to a Conservative government. I think we need a strong government. We need a government with a majority who can then get on and make the decisions. Whoever wins the election has got to make some difficult decisions, and I will be working tirelessly to make sure that we have a Conservative government with a mandate to make the decisions to bring Britain out of the economic uncertainties and deliver once again hope to people.
You need to win your seat, but
absolutely.
Also you're 60th, I think, on the hit list for Conservative seats to win, to actually have an overall majority. But there's another 30-odd to go. At the moment, particularly after last night, it doesn't look as if that's going to happen.
Well, you're not quite right there on your figures. We're about 42nd and South Swindon's about 32nd. We actually need to win about 166 seats to get there. So we're relatively high on there, and that's why the national media has been saying if we can't win in Swindon, we won't be forming the next government. Obviously, things are never quite that straightforward, but we are an integral part of a potential Conservative government. And the polls, we are currently ahead in the polls, in all of the polls. Like with the leadership debate last night, it was a good night for Nick Clegg, but it was also a good night for David Cameron, because for him to win the poll that said who would make the best Prime Minister, that's what a lot of people were going to cast their votes based on. It was a poor night for Gordon Brown because there was no hope for him in any of the polls, but we're only 1/3 of the way through those different things. As it stands today, we're ahead in all of the national polls, but we haven't sealed the deal. There's still a lot more to do, and I, like a lot of my other Conservative candidates, will be working tirelessly to offer that positive alternative to a discredited, tired, failing Labour government.
But would you be looking at working in conjunction with, let's say, the Liberal Democrats in a hung parliament?
I think the Conservatives have to focus 100% on getting a clear majority and a mandate to get on with sorting out the economy and delivering improved public services.
Okay, Justin, you've got 1 minute. How are you going to sell yourself to the Swindon public so that you can become the Conservative MP for Swindon North? What are you going to say to them?
Well, I have a proven positive track record as a local councillor of 10 years for the Abbey Meads ward, in which time I have a 100% attendance record, never claimed a penny in expenses, led on every single local issue in my ward, whether it was organising public meetings, rowing with developers, securing new facilities, saving Swindon Speedway, getting extra schools built, school places. There will be no greater champion for Swindon than myself. I have a huge amount of energy, enthusiasm and passion for this, and as a local resident I share and understand those issues, and I will work day and night to be a real advocate for Swindon. So you'll see me out pounding those streets, and it's certainly going to be very close in Swindon.
Didn't a newspaper once suggest that you are the next Conservative leader?
Nope. That's an easy answer. Not that I'm aware of.
Or a future Conservative leader?
Yes, that's a different way of phrasing it. When I was at university, myself and my friend is also actually a Conservative candidate for Dudley South, where he lives. They sort of said that we had potential to go further in politics, but I'm more concerned with just trying to be a champion for Swindon at the moment, and believe me, that's a tough enough challenge without worrying about anything beyond that.
But you think you're on course?
I'm doing all I possibly can to deliver a Conservative gain, and as a local resident it means a huge amount to me that I can have that opportunity to be a real positive champion for my fellow local residents.
Justin, thank you very, very much for coming in. If the offer is out to everybody, if you feel that there are more things that you wish to tell us about, please come back. We'd love to have a chat with you.